Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome back to my channel. My name is Maria, and in today's video I'm going to be doing this summer makeup look using the new California Love Colourpop palette. I saw this at Ulta and I just had to get it. There's so many pretty colors, especially this really shimmery glitter. I mean, anything that has glitter, my eyes just go to it right away. So yeah, I really am really happy how it turned out. I think it's perfect for summer date night, kind of casual. You can totally glam this up a little bit more, but I'm really happy with how it turned out. So if you guys are interested in how to achieve this look, just keep watching. All right, we're going to be going in with the e.l.f. Oil Control Mist Primer. This is a primer mist. I have combination oily and dry skin, so this helps control some of the oil. I just kind of spray it on my face and rub it around and tap it into the skin. Next, I'm going to be going in with the Professional Pore Primer. A little bit of this goes a long way. My problem area is around my nose, really on my nose and on the center of my face. So I'm just rubbing that in and pressing it along on my skin. Now I'm going to be using a combination of two foundations. They're both by Tarte. The first one is the double duty formula in the medium gold shade. This is a more hydrating formula, goes on the skin very nicely. And the second foundation is in the same shade, medium gold, but it's a matte formula. That formula has a little bit more of yellow undertones. As you can see, I'm just applying that on my face, and you can see the difference between the two shades, even though they're the same shade name. Now with a damp beauty blender, I'm just going to pounce that along my face and combine both foundations. They blend very well using the beauty blender. So we're just going to speed up over it, and you can see it's got very good coverage. I have a lot of redness and a lot of freckles, as you can tell, for those of you that haven't seen me without makeup before. So this is really, really good coverage. And for my eyebrows, I'm going to be using the Morphe Brow Cream in the color Java. I'm just going to be dipping this with a small angled brush by e.l.f. This is actually a dupe for the Anastasia Dip Brow. Of course, I'm sure that formula is way better than this one, but this is actually not bad for the price. So I'm just going to speed over this and fill in my eyebrows. I have I have really small hairs and really thin hairs, so filling in my brow is a must for me. And moving on to the eyes, I'm going to start with the NYX eyeshadow base. A little bit of this goes a long way. I'm just using a flat brush and sweeping it across the entire eyelid. This is a must for this look. Really, for any really bright eyeshadow colors, I really recommend that you use a base before. And now we're going to start with the Colourpop palette. I'm going to start with the color Laguna for my transition color. I'm just going to grab a little bit of that with a fluffy brush and sweep that across the crease of the entire eyelid. As you're watching this, I like to do each step on both eyes at a time. I don't like to do a whole eye and then move on to the next one, just because for me, I forget what colors I use and what order and what brushes. So I always repeat the step that I did from one eye to the next before moving on. Next, I'm going to pick up the color Sequoia, which is kind of a burnt orange or burnt yellow color. It's really nice, really bright on the eyelid. And I'm just going to sweep that on top of the Laguna color, just to add a little bit more depth and color to the eye.
And again, I'm doing the exact same thing on the other eye. Next, I'm going to go with a deeper shade called Gold Rush. This color, I'm going to focus it more on the outer corner of the eye, taking a smaller tapered brush and just creating almost like a V motion on the outer part of the eye, just to add a little bit more depth to this look. You can totally just pack that color on and buildable. So if you want to make it darker, definitely add more to this. Okay, so now I'm going to try to do somewhat of a cut crease. So I'm taking some concealer on a flat brush. And to help me with this cut crease, first I put a little bit on the closer to the waterline, and then you blink up, which creates this little guide for you. That way you know how far high up in your eyelid you need to go to add the base. And so with a flat brush, I'm just tapping over it just to clean up some of this color and really define that center part of the eyelid. And it is, again, I've already created that little guide. When I blinked up, I know how far high up in my eyelid I need to go. I have smaller eyelids, so this trick tends to work for me. I'm still kind of new to this cut crease thing, but practice, practice, practice. Next, I'm going to go in with a color called Cruising. This is a gold shimmery color. It's very sheer, so with a flat brush, I'm just going to pack that on top of where we added the concealer. You can see that adding the concealer definitely intensifies a lot of these shimmery, lighter tones. So we're going to go over the entire lid where we applied the concealer. And again, just repeating that on the other eye. Now, using my finger, I'm going to pick up the color El Capitan, which was the color that attracted me to this palette to begin with. It does have some falling out. It's more of a glittery formula. So I'm just using my finger to pack it on top of the eyelid, just focusing it on the center part of the eye. And don't worry about the fallout because we're going to clean that up with a makeup remover wipe in a second. Now going back to the color Laguna, I'm going to pick up a little bit more of that and add it to the top part of the eyelid. Just to blend everything out, I want it to bring up the color a little bit more, so you can always go back and add that to your almost finished look. Next, I'm going to be using the Master Chrome highlighter by Maybelline. This is in the shade Molten Gold, and I'm just adding it to the brow bone to give it a little bit more of a shimmer, more of a pop look. And here I'm just going to pick up a makeup remover wipe and sweep it underneath the eyelid to pick up some of that fallout. Now I'm going in with the Morphe concealer. This is in the shade C235, and I'm just applying it underneath the eye. We're going to start doing some contouring here, which is my favorite part of doing makeup, and cover up all of these freckles and the redness that I have on my skin. Again, just putting it underneath the eye, then in the center of the forehead to brighten that up, down the bridge of the nose and onto the chin. And we're going to take a Camo Concealer sponge from e.l.f. I love this little thing. It's so good for underneath the eye and blending out this concealer. So it is a little damp, and we're just going to pounce it across and blend everything out. And to set the concealer, I'm going to be using the Maybelline Fit Me Matte Poreless Powder in the shade 230, and I'm just grabbing some of that with an e.l.f. brush and just tapping it underneath the eye, anywhere that we put concealer, to make sure that there's no creasing or smudging where we had that concealer and that it doesn't go anywhere. Now we need to warm up the face, so I'm going to be using the matte bronzer by NYX in the color Deep Tan. Just putting some of this with an angled brush underneath the cheekbones and sweeping it back and forth. Don't worry about going too low, because we're going to clean that up a little bit later on. So here I'm just, again, doing the other cheek in an upward motion and focusing that on the cheekbones. Then I'm sweeping it across my forehead to add a little bit more warmth to the face. And also adding that underneath the jawline and blending it downward towards your neck, because you don't want to have those two harsh lines between the neck and your jawline. I'm also going to be contouring my nose using the same bronze color and using a Real Technique brush. I'm going along the side of the nose, the bridge of the nose, and this is just to kind of define my nose. This is just something that I always do, and kind of brings in the whole look together. Also, a little trick is to add a little bit right on top of the nose. It just makes it look a little bit more narrow, if you will. Now we're going to clean up some of this contour using the beignet powder in the banana color or color shade, and using a dry sponge, we're going to just pick some of that powder up and apply it along the jaw part of your face. This is just to kind of clean up some of that bronzer that if you went too far down your face, this is where you can correct that mistake, and it just helps you define that jawline. Now we're going to let that sit for a little bit. While that's baking, we are going to add some blush using the Maybelline Fit Me blush in the color Peach. It looks actually darker than how it applies. It has a little bit of a shimmer to it. I didn't want to go too crazy with the blush because, again, I want the eyes to be the main focus. So just adding a little bit more shimmery to the apples of my cheeks. Now we're going to clean up some of that powder using a stippling brush and just sweep everything off. As you can see, it just kind of highlights the bottom part of your jaw and makes it look a little bit more defined. I'm also running the brush across my face just to blend everything out. Next up for eyeliner, I'm going to use the NYX Epic Wear eyeliner. This is actually a waterproof formula, but they do have just a standard liquid eyeliner formula. I find liquid eyeliners are easier for me to apply when doing a wing. I'm speeding up through this, so I definitely don't go this fast. But I really like the formula, and I know a lot of YouTubers have been raving about it, so I just had to try it. It also dries out really matte. It's not very shimmery. I know right now it looks wet, but this is a really dark color. I really liked how it looked after everything dried up. And for mascara, I'm going to be using the Falsies Lash Lift by Maybelline. This has been my favorite mascara lately. I use this every day. I have really short eyelashes, so I'm just going to apply one coat because we are going to add some falsies. No look would be complete without some falsies. I'm using the Kiss Lash Couture line, and this is in the Royal Silk style. I do like these lashes because they don't have that thick band. If you are fairly new to putting on eyelashes, I recommend that you use an eyelash that does not have a thick band because you can move them around a little bit more easy if you're struggling in applying your falsies. We got one there. What a difference. I really like these lashes. They're pretty wispy and really easy to apply. Now I'm going to be going in with the NYX retractable eyeliner in a black shade and just adding that to the waterline. And to make it a little bit more dramatic, we're going to go back to the same shades that we used and adding it to the bottom part of your eye along your waterline. And I'm just basically mimicking the exact same thing that I did on my lid, but bringing it down to underneath the eye. It just warms everything up and it gives you a little bit more of a dramatic look. So I'm going in to add some of this gold shimmery tones that we used, again, mimicking the exact same thing that we did on the top of the eyelid, but just bringing it down. Next, we're going to pop some mascara under the lower eyelashes and adding a little bit more on the falsies as well. And to finish up with the eyebrows, I'm going to use the NYX Tinted Brow Mascara. I always wait until the end to apply this just because in case there's any fallout on the hairs of your eyebrows, you want to be able to clean that up. So the way that I apply it is first I go in with the inward motion to get as much of the product on the hairs, and then I brush them out in the direction that the hairs grow. And to seal everything, we're going to use the Morphe Continuous Setting Spray. I love adding setting sprays at the end of my look. I just feel like it's locking everything in. All that goodness is not going anywhere. And I'm going to be adding some highlighter using the same highlighter, Master Chrome by Maybelline in the color Molten Gold, adding it on the center of my nose and the bridge of my nose, as well as along my cheekbones, kind of the high part of the cheekbones. You can see it looks really pretty. Perfect for the summer. I love the gold tone highlighters. I'm also going to add it on the temples of my forehead just to give it a little bit more of a summer glowy look. And for my lips, I'm going to be using the Huda Beauty lip liner in the shade Bombshell. I'm just going to go with the neutral lip for this look because I want the eyes to be the main focus. So you can never go wrong with a neutral lip. And finally, I'm going to be using the Just a Tint Lip Crayon by Colourpop in the color Rise and Shine. This is a sheer formula and it's very hydrating. My lips have been dry all winter, so it feels good to have something nice and hydrating on my lips. Again, I think this sheer color just works very well with the tones of the eyes. And there it is, you guys. The look is complete. Let me put this hair down, do a little something with it. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you like this look, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you guys for watching. Bye.